Oh well, we try.
Happy holidays.
Yay!
For those of you that got to rest, I'm just going to say TGIF because soon I'll be joining you people in bed. That's all I can tell you. But before then, let's talk about what's happening, what's new. Aha! Igash Fionte came back from her injury and she bloodied somebody's nose. She was like,
Was that intentional?
she was, oh, yes, it was. She
Oh
got on
wow.
court. Oh, when I meant she bloodied somebody's nose, I meant she got on the court and beat somebody senseless as usual.
I would agree.
She got on the court in the Porsche Cup, and I was waiting. Let me tell you how quick it was. I was waiting for her own because her match came up after Coco Golf was defeated by Potapova. I was just like, okay, Iga Swiatek is next. So I think I kind of missed the time, but I looked up and the match was over. It was like I blinked and she had beaten the girl. She was like,
How?
I had somewhere to go. It was very quick. That's all I can say. But yeah, she came back and she started from where she stopped. But we'll also be talking about Rafa Nadal because um, he has some major updates for everyone. And in case of you were not prepared before because you're still measuring him against, Andy Murray and Novak Djokovic, you're about to be stunned. We're talking about tennis, football, and much more. Who is the real goat of managers? Yeah, because we're talking about goats of players. Who is the real goat of managers? We're talking about all of that in the locker room today. But before then, Zibby, how are they going to be a part of this show?
All right, we're streaming live on YouTube, so you can catch the live stream. It's Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Hey YouTube. You can also tweet at Smooth 981 or send messages to us via WhatsApp 0809 440 981.
All right.
So the headlines: Curry scores 36, Warriors beat Kings 114 to 97 without Green. Yeah, that's stomper. Rafael Nadal does not know when he will return from injury. Ten Hag blessed Man United players after Sevilla thrashing. Title chasing Arsenal seek home comfort against Southampton. Juventus' 15-point penalty for illicit transfer activity is reversed. Can Manchester City get revenge in Real Madrid semi-final rematch? Chelsea Thiago Silva says club needs to stop and put a strategy in place. Roma scored twice in extra time to book Europa semi-final spots.
All right. So those are the stories. We're waiting to see your thoughts on some of the stories. You can even start sending the thoughts now on WhatsApp and via this number
0809 440 981.
But first, let's go to the NBA. Some major madness happened there. Well, I want to say last night, but it was early hours of this morning. So let's take it from there.
Stephen Curry scored 36 points. Kevin Looney matched his career high with 20 rebounds to go with 9 assists, and the Golden State Warriors got right back in their first round playoff series.
All right. And so, before everybody says, so where have these Golden State Warriors been? They've always been here. This is how they play at home. At home, they are one of the best teams in the NBA. On the road, they are one of the worst teams in the NBA. The swing is just too much. On the road, they are the third worst team in defense. At home, they're the third best team. It's like there's a major movement. It's like they know every single tile on the court in Oakland. You take them from there and they are lost, which is why they won only 9 games on the road in regular season. And so, getting back to what happened early hours of this morning, you saw the number of rebounds, and that's where it was. They were making more stops. They didn't lose game one or game two because they weren't scoring enough points. And yes, I know they struggled from the 3 points, and yes, I know from the 3 point line in the second game, and yes, I know that they gave away too many turnovers. But what really happened to the Golden State Warriors was what they did on defense. Oh, sorry, what they didn't do on defense, which is why Draymond Green, getting ejected was really silly. As an experienced player, as a senior player on the squad, your team is struggling. Focus on the game. Leave the Sabonis saga for Sabonis. But what they did was defensive, and you could see on the boards as much as Sacramento Kings were still doing their great defensive job, has still had a few fast breaks. Golden State Warriors at home were able to stop the Sacramento Kings, and defensively, you have to check it out. Kuminga, Looney with 20 rebounds, and that's what he did not do in games 1 and games 2 in Sacramento, and that's where the problem is. And so yes, they're going to game 4 is going to be it's going to be at home, and maybe just maybe at the Chase Arena they'll be able to get the series back all to 2-2. But the question is, Sacramento Kings still have home court advantage, and if they go on the road, will they be able to get one game on the road? And that's where the problem for the Golden State Warriors is. But big night last night, big game. They were able to drag themselves back up without Draymond Green, because he was suspended because the NBA said, well, he has a bit of a reputation.
Draymond.
And then Steph Curry was like, we too have a bit of a reputation, and then they won. So it was a good back game for them. It was a feel good game. It was able to get them looking back into the series. But the way the Kings played last night, you know that they will contest for at least one game at the Chase Arena. And the problem is on the road, Golden State Warriors don't seem to be able to contest for one game. So that's where the problem is there. In the other game in Brooklyn in Eastern Conference, Philadelphia is leading by 3-0. So at this point in time, I was saying that series will end in 5, because I was thinking that Philadelphia will have one bad game. But last night, James Harden got ejected for unnecessary and excessive retaliation. So some guy was draping all over him, was fouling him, and he tried to get the guy off his back, but he mistakenly hit the guy in the groin. That's where I'm going to leave it at. Yeah. Okay. It wasn't. I would let me tell you why I was baffled that he was thrown out, because I saw him move his hand. You know how you're trying to shrug somebody off you. I didn't think he really hit the guy in the groin. Maybe thigh, and it wasn't a hard one. But
right, you felt it.
I saw it. The rest was like excessive. You know how men can be with this groin thing. Excessive. Ow, ejected. 2 seconds later, by my count, maybe it was not 2 seconds by the NBA camp, but 2 seconds later, somebody dunks on Joel Embiid. He's on the floor. The guy, you know how they do that thing where they stand over you and look down on you? He's taunting. Joel Embiid kicks this guy right between the thighs.
Oh wow!
Ask me what the referees did. They're like, it didn't really connect. Flagrant 1. I was like, what? That is the flagrant 2. That's what you gave to James Harden. It's not flagrant 2. But hey, Joel Embiid got away with it twice. But at the end of the day, Philadelphia 76ers were able to win their game. So they lead 3-0 in that series. But again, it comes down to the officiating. When you look at it, some big players get away with some calls that small players cannot even dream about.
Wow.
Well, and James Harden is not a small player, but I mean, if you're talking Joel Embiid in 76ers and James Harden 6th man of the year, I mean, Joel Embiid is competing for MVP of the season. 6th man of the year. It's not the same.
All right. So Rafael Nadal says he is in a difficult situation as he doesn't know when he will return from his injury layoff.
All right. And this is the huge news for other people. For me, nah. Because medically, because I follow this Rafa Nadal story. Medically, Rafa Nadal wasn't supposed to play playing up to 30 years of age was a miracle. First of all, he had tendonitis even before he started. So you already knew that those tendons, his knees were already going to be a problem. Then this guy be sliding across, hard courts. And I'm just like, dude, do you want to walk when you're 50? You need to stop. But his body, every part of his body has struggled, every part of his body has been broken, and doctors were just like, surgeons were just waiting for them. Like, I want Nadal to retire so that I'll be the one to repair him. He looks like a medical mystery because everything about him doesn't feel like he should play till this time. But yeah, the body is now beginning to speak because the recovery is not going as quickly as they planned. So he goes for a procedure, comes back, goes into, they say, okay, you're ready to start training now, goes into training and finds out there's something else they need to tweak. So he goes back to tweak it. And that's where the problem has been. And he's gone to tweak again, which means he may not even be able to make it for Roland Garros, which is the holy grail that everybody's waiting to see him at. So the end is near. For those of you that don't know, buy your Ashwebi. Every game now for Rafa Nadal could
Nice
be the
move.
last
Oh,
one.
wow.
So just get ready. He's out. And that's where he the struggle with Rafa Nadal is. But yes, the end has come. He's had a great career. I don't know why he's still pushing. I understand why, because that's how he is. He just keeps fighting. So he will fight nature. He will fight his body. He will fight the doctor's report. But at some point, just retire and enjoy your money. This is one of the few times I'll tell somebody to retire, because it has nothing to do with desire and ambition,
Right.
but everything to do with the fact that the body just does not want to. It's like my generator of last night. It just doesn't want to start. Leave it. I'm going to sleep. That's it.
All right, let's go on to football. Manchester United coach Erik ten Hag said his players lacked passion and desire in their 3-0 thrashing by Sevilla in the Europa League on Thursday.
All right. I don't know. Again, I don't understand why he's really flogging them with his mouth, but because he also has a tail in this. But I would say this. I didn't see this one coming. I didn't think Manchester United was going to go through. However, all the callers, can you remember on Wednesday? Everybody would have scored was like, Sevilla didn't play the first game well, so Manchester United win. I didn't hear one single call that said Manchester United was going to lose. 3-0. And it started from the gift of Maguire. Maguire. Sevilla was playing this game with some intensity. First of all, I have to applaud the fans. The stadium was all white. They came out in their colors. They were loud. And if they played for 2 days, those fans would have been loud for 2 days. I don't know how they're going to manage one, because they'll have a sore throat. So they built up the atmosphere for the Sevilla players. Then the Sevilla players get on the pitch and know that they've struggled for most of the season, and yes, they've been able to win a few games and get a little higher up the table in La Liga, but they're not there yet. So they came in with an urgency and a desperation to do well, only for Harry Maguire to be like, don't sweat it, bro. I have a gift for you. Here, take the ball. And first goal goes in the back of the net. It already puts Manchester United on the back foot. And then Manchester United is struggling. Now, regardless of the fact that Rashford plays yesterday, you could tell he wasn't 100%. It was like, he almost, like he told the physios, I can walk. They're like, okay, yeah, if you can walk, you can run. Get on the pitch and play. He didn't look 100%. He didn't run at the defenders like he would. He didn't attack the ball like he would. He didn't, he wasn't aggressive in the 18-yard box as he normally would. So you could tell he wasn't 100%. Same thing with Luke Shaw. So Manchester United had a few key missing players in their centre-back pairing and a few of the walking wounded. But ultimately, what it came down to was mistakes, errors in the back. When Sevilla had the opportunity, they played a very clean game. They defended with their lives. They put their bodies on the line. They made sure that their goalkeeper wasn't under too much pressure. On the other side, as soon as Sevilla, got the ball in and around Manchester United's 18-yard box, it felt like they had, they could smell the aroma of food. So the 8 of that Manchester United defense won that game, and they're through to the next round. So yes, I understand with Erik ten Hag that he's thrashing his team, and saying they didn't come with enough urgency. But I also look at you too.
You ain't blameless.
There's no serious team that wants to play and makes Maguire, not just starting defender, but captain. My friend, sit him on the bench. Might as well just play 10 men. And know that you're already at a disadvantage than play Maguire. All right, before we go on the break, let's just take one message. Men have started coming at me, talking about this. They are growing something, but they'll be all right. This one says, Tega, until you are hit between the groin. You are not sure whether it's connected or not.
Tega, you have bionic vision.
It didn't look hard to me. That's what I'm saying.
I think there's some measures of pain that no one can ever experience.
Is that why he did that? He was shot by a foundation. Yeah. Wilson says, yesterday Manchester United played like Derby County.
Wow.
They lost focus, no organization, no communication. I don't understand. The spirit was not there. I just don't know what happened to them yesterday. All right, so let's take that quick break, and when we come back, we'll be reading more of your messages. They should get out. What did they hit? They hit, and I kid you not, that hand looked like he connected the guy here, and it wasn't an elbow. It was just it was just like yeah, like get off me.
Excuse me.
As if what is inside that growing that they are protecting? Y'all be looking at me. I will kick him, man.
Wait, where did I get that 10 from?
That's how I was watching movie yesterday. Two men were fighting. You know that this man is going to beat you. Just kick him in the groin. Like I don't know what
like we have to keep the bro code going, and even if they fight, I can't.
No, the guy is going to blow your eye. Why are you blowing code for blowing your eye? Kick him in the groin and run. Yeah, that's my rule. Anybody that tests me, I'm kicking them in the groin. Yeah, I don't have power. I'm only 5'3", 50 kg. Anybody can beat me.
When I used to do karate, we're doing our test sparring, meaning I'll put a rule above the waist because that was instinctively where I would always go for.
I could never have done that. Because, so you had to, you know when they count in Nuga, they count your hits on the body. They barely count.
Yeah, but we were just sparring, so it was like it didn't really matter.
Because they used to train us in Nuga style for some crazy reason. Oh, then they beat me one day and I was done.
A guy?
A girl beat me.
Oh, okay.
She put me on the ground. I was like, you know, the boys in this dojo are not that cute. I don't know why I'm killing myself. Oh yeah, I was there for the cute guys.
Oh my god!
You think I was there to get me? I was there for the guys.
Oh my goodness!
When she landed me on that floor, I was just like,
I'm done here.
I look for cute guys in church. Let's leave these men.
Oh my goodness! Dang. Women, why are we like this? Oh my days! That was a nice way to meet boys.
They used to train us to make body heat.
How did this get in here?
Are we back? Okay, so we'll come back with one of the messages from
Emeka. Okay. This is the locker room on Smooth 98.1 Tega and Zibby 0809 4440981. That is the WhatsApp number. The live stream is here up on YouTube.
Yes, and if you heard anything on YouTube, it wasn't me. All right, so first let's take one message from Wilson, one more message from Wilson. And he said, I don't see Sevilla going beyond the semi-final stage of the Europa, even though they have rich experience. Yesterday, the whole stadium was covered with white. That's the power of fans, but I don't see them winning the trophy. Yeah, I saw some Manchester United fans already bad belly saying, Roma must win. Roma must win. I was like, you guys should calm down. It's not that deep. But yes, so it had the Europa League semis are set. I think Sevilla is just getting better at the right time because they're winning games towards the end of the season. So this may just be their trophy again. However, Jose Mourinho, the Baba of all Babas, he's still in the Champions League. And yesterday, he was able to, what he did yesterday was tantamount to driving a wheelbarrow to win a Formula One race. But we'll be talking about that.
Wow.
So because Jose Mourinho is there, yeah, I'm still suspecting that maybe Sevilla can't take it. But we'll see how this pans out in the end.
Okay, let's go on to the next one. Arsenal's title pursuit has entered rather choppy waters, but they have the perfect opportunity to steady the ship when they host the Premier League's bottom club Southampton on Friday with a 7-point lead up for grabs.
All right, so that's what they're looking at. It will be a 7-point lead. However, it'll be 2 games in hand for Manchester City. Now, Manchester City will be playing in the FA Cup against Sheffield. We expect them to win that and get to the final. So that's the easy one for them. So they won't be playing during this weekend, and that gives Arsenal some time to settle. But Arsenal have struggled against that bottom half of the table. That's where they really dropped points. That's where the problem has been for them. So they struggle against the strugglers. And so Southampton is another team that can pull out, some real shocking stunts. They have, Southampton is a tricky team because they're a team in a very bad place, but they have players that can still make a difference on the days of the match, and that's where Arsenal's problem will be, because they have struggled against this side, because Southampton are a drowning team. They could give Arsenal real problems. However,
drowning team.
yeah, they are drowning. If you're at the bottom of the table like this time in the season, yeah, I'm gonna. I think there's no better way to put it. But Arsenal would also be looking to bounce back. 2 games where they led by 2 goals and then dropped points. They would want something to steady the ship. So today's game, I expect to see some urgency. I expect to see, some desperation in Arsenal's play at least, and then I expect to see them pile on that pressure on Southampton, and hopefully they'll get the results, because at the end of the day, what counts is the numbers on the board. We cannot count game in hand, because we don't know how you wake up that morning. So they have to put the numbers on the board at least to put Manchester City under pressure. So tonight is the night for Arsenal and for the Gunners. Let's see how they bounce back.
All right, 0809 444 0981. That's the WhatsApp number. You can also tweet at smooth981.
All right, and let's see. This message from Emeka says,
Maguire saw the Upamecano.
Okay, wow. Upamecano, Bayern defender that gave away the Bayern tie. They need to check his account. He was horrible.
Wow.
Legs.
So is it possible? All right, Maguire saw that disaster and he decided to squash that and give us a better show. Maybe he should just quit football and start a shawarma business outside Old Trafford. As for the here, can we all see why Spain did take him to the World Cup? What was he thinking for that third goal?
Yeah, but that third goal was not what killed Manchester United. That third goal was just like pouring sand on the grave and saying dust to dust. What killed them was Harry Maguire. In the first match with the own goal, and in this one with the assists. Yeah. Let's look at what Big E says. Big E from Keto says.
Tega was just useless yesterday against Sevilla. Maguire just being Maguire. He always stride and do a giveaway goal to the opposing team. And what a world-class team. And please, Arsenal, win today. Please. We need 3 points and we need it more before we face Man City. All
right. So let's talk about some other stories before we take some more of your messages. But keep those messages coming on WhatsApp on 0809
444 981.
All right.
Juventus' 15-point penalty over transfer dealings has been reversed, with Italy's higher sporting court ordering the case to be re-examined.
All right. So this is the huge deal. And this happened when Roma was playing, because Juventus case getting over 15 points deficit getting overturned means that Juventus now rises into 3rd place and Roma drops from 3rd place.
Yeah. Wow.
And so this happens before the Roma game. So you can imagine how they came into that game with a bit of anger, anxiety, and every other emotion in between. But yes, here is the situation though. The case itself, the highest court did not review the case itself, like the case of the book cooking. They reviewed the suspensions. Before you now start saying, oh, that means Juventus was not guilty. No. They didn't review the case itself. They reviewed the suspensions. And so because they reviewed the suspensions, they just like the suspensions for the club, and the fines for the club and the directors. That's what they reviewed. And they overturned that. Now, they haven't dismissed the case. They just said, go back to the Italian Federation should go back and just revisit it. However, in that time, because they have eliminated that suspension, the 15 points have been given back to Juventus. So it's not that Juventus are clear of the charges.
Okay.
It's just that
just the points.
Just the penalties. Because even some of the directors like them, Pavel Nedved, one of my sweethearts, he used to be a great footballer, and then he's one of the directors of the club. Even his own appeal case against him had been overturned, but that of Agnelli has not been overturned. So there's still going to be a lot of back and forth here. My problem with this is that the back and forth as the back and forth keeps happening, it affects the table, it affects other teams, and I don't see any reason why Juventus should commit a crime. And I'm the one dancing as well too, because now they've added back their 15 points. Tomorrow, if they deduct it again, so it affects the table. So I think this situation should just be resolved once and for all. Now, Juventus are saying maybe because it's towards the end of the season or all the drama, they're hoping that the 15-point deficit will just stand so that they'll know where they are. But I'm sure that the Italian Federation will revisit this matter.
All right, a year ago, Manchester City suffered one of the most heartbreaking European defeats in their history against Real Madrid, but now they have the chance for revenge.
Yes, so the draws have been made. It is the Italian derby, Milan, AC Milan taking on Inter Milan in one semi-final in the Champions League, and the second champions side of the draw, which is where I think the Champions League winner will come from. It is Real Madrid taking on Manchester City. So UEFA has hit the jackpot. Either way, the money will be complete. You know, from advertising to last minute people, you know, buying spots, and to the stadiums getting filled out, because that derby d'Italia is a completely different thing. When you see that Milan derby, the rivalry is solid, and so I can guarantee you for 2 games they are going to the same stadium. It's the same stadium they're playing. It's just that on the day Inter Milan is playing, it will be all blue. On the day AC Milan is at home, it will be all red. The same exact stadium, but the noise, the town is just going to be red hot. Hopefully there won't be any fights. But on the other side, Real Madrid and Manchester City, that's where the tough one will be. Manchester City being very clinical. I'm having that Erling Haaland who just refused to be let down. I mean, the guy missed a penalty in a big match, and he stepped up and scored an even better goal. He was like, that penalty was an aberration. He moved on very quickly. He wasn't sober. He wasn't depressed. He wasn't counting it. He wasn't worried about it. No, he was just like, you know what? I missed that one. I'm going to make up for it. So you have that kind of young guy that is hungry and is ready to shake off disappointment and just go at it. You have a Manchester team that is fluid, and then you have a Real Madrid team that it seems like their ancestors are the owners of UEFA Champions League. They've just sat down here on this particular competition and said, in this competition, we are the guys, we are the bosses to be. So it's just going to be great to see those two teams match up. Now, Manchester City will feel like they're in a better place, competing on more fronts, still in the FA Cup, competing for the Premiership, and chasing Arsenal down like their village spirits, and then they're in the Champions League and they're playing very well. So they'll feel like they're going to have a better season, they're in a better place than Real Madrid. But this Real Madrid side, regardless of who has a good day or a bad day, Karim Benzema is not having a good day, don't worry, Rodrigo will step up. You know, Rodrigo is not having a good day, don't worry, Vinicius is always there. Vinicius is not having a good day, Asensio from the bench will come in and give you a thunder. So there's just, in the Champions League, Real Madrid just seem a little bit untouchable. So it will be great to see who overthrow them. For me, that's where the Champions League winner will come from. I think the Milan teams have done well, but I don't see them winning the Champions League. I don't. All right, so those are all we can take for today. But before we do that, before we close, let's take some messages. Wilson says, Arsenal better win today, or most likely lose the league. Wow. Iman from Yaba says,
I hope Maguire doesn't get depressed in the long run, because it's always about him when he plays. Thank God he isn't a black person.
I'm telling you, that in a completely different kettle of fish. I'll ask Bukayo Saka. And this is from Tayo saying,
Tayo says, there can only be one Harry Maguire, others are imitation. As for Dayo Upamecano, he can still hurry up and get a degree, because I doubt professional football is still his calling.
Wow. Dr. Davis says,
Tega, in football, when they say, why are you a Maguire? You know what they mean. He now has a trade name.
All right, and that's all we can take on the show for today. Thank you so much for staying tuned with us, or even during the holidays. So we'll be back on Monday. It'll be another holiday, but trust me, there'll be banter from the weekend. So come with all your texts, your chats. I'll be ready for you. For now, Zibby, take over.
Stay with us. Lagos Talk starts from 9 a.m.
Every move you make